Okay, so in this lecture we'll be talking about variable declaration and object initialization. So in the below sub procedure, which is declare, you can see I have declared a lot of variables of different types. Don't worry, I'll be going through all these one by one in the above sub procedure. So in test, you can see I'm using dim a as integer and I'm assigning a value a equals 10. I am simply displaying in a message box and the value get displayed over there. So this is how we declare integers, and if you want to perform any calculation, let's say I add 10 to it or I subtract 3 from it, I can perform everything on this integer value and it would be giving me result as integer value. So the type of this variable a was integer, that's why I was able to perform integral calculations. Now I've removed the type declaration. You see that it is still calculating the same thing. That means the default data type, which is variant data type in Excel, is automatically able to identify that it is integer and it should perform integral calculation on it. Now I convert this a to a string value. I assign a string value to it. I make it as a equals Kamal, and let's say I add 10 to it. It gives me a type error. This type mismatch is occurring because I am assigning a string value to variable a, and on the other hand I am trying to add an integer to this variable. So that is not possible. That's why it is saying that because you are trying to add a integer value in a string variable, that is not possible and there is actually a type mismatch. If you want to learn more about variables, I recommend you to go to my YouTube page, which is Extreme Automation by Kamal Girdhar, and you will find a complete course on Excel VBA, which is freely available for everyone. You can find a lecture on variables and you will be finding more detailed information in those tutorials. Now I remove this numerical part and I simply display what is stored in A, and I can get the string printed on message box. Now I try to, let's say, concatenate a string to the string using ampersand operator. Now it should concatenate and give me the result. Now we have not declared the type of variable a, we are directly assigning a string value and we are performing concatenation operation. It is good that you always declare the type for string variables as string in this way. So I copy it from here and I can paste it here. So dim b as string, and you can then assign a value which is string and perform any operation related to strings. Alright, let us move on to the next data type, which is date. So to declare a variable of type date, we need to write dim c as date, and then we need to give the value. While assignment, we need to give it in double quotes. This more or less looks like a string, but you will see the difference. I display the value, let's say message box C, so it will give me the value. Now you must be wondering that it is a string, but if I add 1 to it, we cannot add 1 to a string because that gives us a type mismatch error, but a date, when added with 1, it gives us the next day. So that is a way of assigning values to a date type variable, and then we can use it in date format. We can add and subtract days to get other dates. Now let us try one more thing. Let us remove the declaration of this variable C. I just commented. Let us try to run it now. It gives us type mismatch error because by default, if you do not declare the type, it takes it as string if the value comes in double quotes, and it cannot add 1 to the string. So that's the issue, and that's why we need to declare the type as well. Moving on to the next data type, which is Boolean. A Boolean is a data type that takes only two values, true and false. So we declare it like dim d as Boolean, and then let's say we assign a value d equals true. Remember that true always have T capital and rest characters are small. Similarly for false, F is capital, rest all are small. So let us add a message box to display the value of d. So message box and then d. If I run this piece of code, the output is true on a message box. I can use AND, OR and NOT function. So if I close this d in NOT function, I run it again, it gives us just reverse of it. So for true it returns false, and for false it returns true. So now let us understand the tricky part of it. Let's say I am commenting this declaration, and while assigning the value I am not giving a Boolean value, rather I am giving this Boolean value in string format. So d is actually a string, but when I am running I am getting the Boolean value false. So basically why I am getting this false as a result is because this NOT function first of all tries to convert the value that you are going to provide into the Boolean value, and only then it performs operation. So even if I am giving, let's say, all capitals, that is not an actual or valid Boolean value, that is a string value. So NOT function first tries to convert that capital true into the boolean value true and then gives me the reverse of it. So that's why we are getting false here. So moving on to the next data type, which is currency. It is more or less similar to a numeric, or you can say float or double data type. So dim_f as currency, I give a, let's say, float value 2.3333, some numbers like this. So one point to note is currency always take values up to 4 decimal digits, and if you do not give, or if you give more than those number of digits, it automatically try to adjust it in that way. So I have assigned this value, and when I'm running this, you can see that I'm getting value up to 4 digits only. Now let's say you want to deal with a number or a value which is having more digits after decimal places. So ideally that data type should be double, right? So if you print this, or if you run this code now, you will get values up to that precision. There is a shortcut for currency variables that while assigning value in the editor which is of currency type, what you need to do is you just need to put a @ symbol after the value, and it would automatically change your value in the editor itself, and it won't evaluate that value in the later stage. Now let us try to understand the difference between integer and long. So I declare a variable a of integer type, and I assign a value from 1 to 9, and I display this value in message box. It gives me overflow error. The reason is it is outside the range of integer data type. I change the data type to long. It now accepts the value, and let's say I add 10 to it. It works absolutely fine for me. So if your value is inside the range of integer, you should use integer data type. If that value is outside it, you should use long data type. To see the exact ranges, I would suggest you to go to Microsoft official website, and in the documentation you will be able to find the exact ranges for all the data types. Alright, so next talk about very important and the default data type that we have in VBA, which is variant. And to explain this, I declare a variable of type integer, and as I assign an integral value to it, and later I assign a string value to it. Alright, so you know that I would be getting type mismatch error if I do it like this way, and I add message boxes to print the integer value as well as string value. I run the code, I get the integer value printed, but for string value it gives me type mismatch error. The reason is it is integer value and it cannot hold a string value. If I change the data type from integer to variant, it works absolutely fine. So variant is a default data type where it tries to accommodate that value according to the value that you provide. So next we'll be talking about objects. So objects represent an element of an application. That element can be a worksheet, can be a Word document, can be an Outlook application instance, and can be any other application. For example, Internet Explorer, that we would be exploring too much in our course, where we would be launching Internet Explorer, we would be opening some URLs, and then we'll be trying to perform actions on the pages. So for such things where you want to access some applications, you need to actually create an object or an instance of that particular application. To declare an object, what you need to do is dim_j as object, and then you need to use set keyword to assign value to this object. You remember that we assigned value to variable directly, like a equals 10 or a equals Kamal, but to assign values to objects we need to use set keyword, and then to create a new instance for any application you need to use new keyword. So for example, if I want to open a new Excel application, I'll be using excel.application, and I would make this object visible. We can set the property visible to true like this, and if we run this piece of code, you would see that Excel application launched by this piece of code, which is visible here. Okay, so similarly we can deal with other applications as well, but another important point to note is if you want to work with some other applications, you need to import their references or libraries before using them. For example, if I use outlook.application and let's say I make it visible as well, before I use Outlook, I need to go to Tools, References, and from these references, I need to find Microsoft Outlook object library. I need to include it, only then I would be able to launch Outlook instance through Excel VBA. Similarly, if you want to control Internet Explorer, so I would be declaring it like this: dim IE as object. You can give any name to your object. Set IE equals new Internet Explorer. Now before you use it, you need to go to references, and you can remove this Outlook because now you are not using it. But for Internet Explorer, you need to include Microsoft HTML object library and Microsoft Internet Controls. Okay, so that's all for objects and variables.